Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how the same decision can be wise for one person and a tremendous, disastrous failure for another. I was talking with a gentleman who I had known from, he worked at a store, and I was going into another store, and he said, "Hey, and you remember me?" And we talked for a little bit, and he was going to college now. He wasn't working anymore. He was full-time in college, and he mentioned about how he didn't really like it. It wasn't what he expected. And this happens a lot with people when they go to college because they've been taught something that, I remember it as a kid. It's still getting taught today, even though people can look around and it's very observable. It's not just some hidden secret. It's very obvious that for most people, college is not very useful for them. It's not the best way to get an education. And in many cases, the only thing it does is gives you a piece of paper and a big debt, and it's absolutely useless. And so for one individual, and I'll give you an example because in hiring people, one of the things I look at is, did they graduate college? Now, to be clear, I do not care if they went to college at all. It means nothing to me. It's not important at all. What I'm looking for is a couple of things. Can they follow through something? So if they did go to college, did they complete it? Now, if they didn't, that still doesn't tell me enough. Why didn't they complete college? And here's the same scenario. Let's say you have this exact same, two different people, the exact same people, exact same situations. Everything's the same. They're going to college. They're 2 years in. One says, "This is so hard. It's getting harder, and I'm struggling to work and pay my college tuition. I just can't do this anymore. I'm going to drop out." The other person says, "This is a mistake. I'm not learning much. I've learned more on my own, just in my own endeavors and reading. And I'm going to these classes where I'm just basically getting taught out of a textbook. I can just go buy the textbook and read it myself. I'm not learning enough. And this is not worth the price I'm paying and the time, the years of my life I'm going to be wasting. I'm dropping out." Both of those individuals came to the same decision, and they made the same decision, and they dropped out. One did it because they quit, did it because they give up. When times get hard, they dropped out. The other did it because they recognized the mistake. They saw an error in their ways, and then rather than persisting in it foolishly, just to complete it, they said, "You know what? I'm cutting my losses, and I'm going to go forward in life." Now, if you have those two to choose from, which one are you going to hire? It's pretty obvious. It's the one who made the wise decision, who made the decision, saw the mistake they were making, saw that it wasn't living up to what they had thought it was going to be, and they moved on. This is why sometimes it can be an actual disadvantage for you if you've graduated college and you tell people about how you didn't like it and there's this and that and all these problems, because somebody hears that and they think, "Why did you continue then?" It makes you look foolish. It makes you look unwise. Now, in a work environment, if they just want somebody who's going to be just a worker bee and not even think, then I guess maybe that could work because you'll just do it anyway. But I'm not looking for people like that around me. I don't want that. I want people who can think, who, well, if I'm making a mistake, they'll point it out. If I say, "Hey, we need to do this," and they say, "Well, I know a better way," let's hear them out. I don't want somebody to go, "Okay," and not even think, or not dare to say, "Hey, there's a better way," if there is. This is why so many college-educated people end up working menial jobs and entry-level jobs. And they end up working for people like me who didn't even graduate high school. I've heard that story over and over again from people who didn't graduate high school or just got a GED or whatever, and they're hiring people with PhDs and master's degrees, and they didn't even go to college. Who's in the better situation there? Who's in the better position in life? The one who's being hired or the one who's doing the hiring? Now, of course, I encourage everybody to be an entrepreneur, but I understand that not everybody is fit for that. There are a lot of things that go into it, and discipline being a big one. So it may not be the best for everybody, best fit for everybody. Even though, with that being said, I do think you could just hire people who are better and they fill those areas where you're not good at. They love doing that particular area, whether it be accounting or graphic design or whatever it is in your business that you're not good at, or management. They enjoy doing that. They love doing that. And you could hire them and have them fill in those gaps where you're not maybe so sufficient. But being an entrepreneur is the best ideal, I believe, for most people. But the point in these individuals dropping out of college is that there are decisions you might have to make in life that if you try to run it by other people who maybe don't have wisdom, don't have understanding in the Lord, they're going to tell you that's wrong. You can't quit college. You have to complete what you started. And that is true in most situations. But you don't complete a sin if in the middle of committing it you repent. You don't commit and continue on in an error when you realize the error of your ways. This is what so many people do. They just blindly go ahead in life, even when they have some inkling, that still small voice welling up within them, telling them you need to be on a different path. And they say, well, but I got 2 more years on this failed path. 2 more years on this disastrous path, 2 more years plus many tens of thousands of dollars more in debt on this wrong path. That, in the end, I'll just have a piece of paper and I'm going to go work at a fast food restaurant that I could do right now, this minute, without a single second of college. You know, there's an old saying that when an error has been found, half the battle's been won. And that's so true. If you realize that there's something in your life that you've been doing that's not right. I'm not talking about direct sin. It could just be something that there's no moral component to it. Just, I've been trying to start this business. I think I'm in the wrong area. I need to move into something else. It could be something where you're presented with 4 different options. And the option you did take doesn't seem to be really the right one. And you don't have that leading of the Spirit that this is the right path to be on. Then change. Make the decision and start taking action on it right now. Do not be one of these people that gets caught up in completing a task when the task itself shouldn't be completed. When it is wrong from the beginning. For you at least. We're not talking about moral judgments about it being wrong on a objective level. This is subjective for you, because for somebody else it might be perfectly right. But you need to make sure that your decision and the reason why you believe it's wrong is not because it's getting too hard, not like those people who drop out of college because it's too hard for them. It's too much work trying to pay their way through college. I get that that's hard, that's a struggle, I understand that. But you don't want to give up and fail and quit on life, quit on your dreams because it's too hard. Because the thing is, if you never get through those hard points in life, you'll never ever get to a point to where it can be easy. You'll just keep going through hard points that you quit on instead of completing. But in the same breath, I want to make sure that you understand that you don't need to complete everything you started if it's wrong. It's much better to accept the fact that you made a mistake, that you're now correcting it, and move on. Not persisting in it, not saying, well, I got to complete it. And listen, if you gave your word to somebody, you have an agreement over something, that's a little different because there's some tricky areas there. Go to the people, reorganize the agreement. Get it changed to the parameters that you need now. Explain it to them. Be honest with them. That you're going to continue forward in your business, but you need to go this path now. And tell them why. Most people will work with you. They don't want if you have a partnership or something, they don't want it to fail. So if you're seeing a wise path to take and you know to take it, most likely they're going to be happy to work with you and everything will work out. But don't persist in error. Don't persist in a mistake just to complete a task. My friend, God will give you great wisdom. He will show you right here and now the steps you are taking, if they're right or not. And if you'll redirect your ways to follow Him, He'll direct your steps and He'll lighten your path, and you will be blessed in all that you do. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.